Here with Coach Mark McClam of Hammond. Coach McClam, heading into the first half of the game, being a non-region matchup, what do you have to tell your team as you prepare for them here this evening?
Well, it might be a non-region game, but it's still a SCISA game, and we're trying to get a high seed going into the playoffs. So each game that's a SCISA game right now may give us a higher seed rankings going into the tournament. Trust we're trying to get some momentum as we go into the state tournament.
Well, Coach, the game was pretty tight in the first half. Ended up at halftime, y'all were up by 1. What kind of adjustments did you make at halftime and talk to your kids about?
Well, interestingly enough, we took 3 starters out and put 3 other kids in the second half. I didn't think we were playing with enough energy. We weren't rebounding like we should. We got a pretty big lineup sometimes. We go 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'5". So we went more guard with a little more quickness and put a 1-2-1-1 diamond press on them. I think we went on a 8-0, 10-0 run there pretty quick in the second half and kind of spread ourselves away from them. So I got to give credit to some kids who may not have been playing as much that jumped in the second half and made a big difference from us.
Well, you actually opened up the third quarter with a 15-2 run.
Was it 15-2?
In the first 3 minutes of the quarter.
Yeah.
And that really kind of put the game away at that point. Y'all just put your foot on the gas the rest of the way. 7th Woods, an 8th grader, came up really big for you in that quarter. He had 10 points. Can you talk a little bit about what he means to you?
Well, of those 10 points, I think he hit 2 back-to-back threes, a couple steals for layups as well. He's a talent. He plays the game with much more wisdom than a 13-year-old. We've got 4 or 5 different offensive man plays and a lot of different strategies we run defensively. And he's a quiet leader, very, very quiet, but really understands the game. And the upside on him, potential-wise, is incredible. And he's a very, very hard worker as well. Very coachable kid. I love him.
Well, he was incredible to watch tonight. Also, Andrew McClam came up real big for you as well. He had 15 points and 13 rebounds. I'd imagine that would make you pretty proud, being that that's your son.
Well, it's always interesting coaching your son. It's good and it's bad. They don't listen to you when they're your dad, and sometimes they don't listen to you when they're your coach because you are their dad. I'd been getting on Andrew a little bit about he's a great athlete and was not rebounding a lot in the last couple games. Always plays hard, but tonight he really said he was going to put every ounce of energy he could, and he came up really big. He was tremendous on the glass, and good leadership, a lot of good steals from him as well.
Coach, a great win for you tonight. Puts you in good position in the playoffs. What are you kind of expecting out of your team as you hit the home stretch here?
Well, we're learning to play in tight games. You know, the Cardinal Newman Heathwood games, we've lost by 4. We're up by 3 or 4. You know, this program's only won 10 or 11 games in 2 years, so we're trying to get kids to understand that just being competitive is not good enough when we got close games that we can win. So we're growing. Beginning of the season, we weren't playing very well. We're peaking. We've got good athletes. We got good size. We got good speed. So we got some good weapons. We only got 10 kids on the team, so we don't have a tremendous amount of depth. I'm fully expecting that anybody that plays us in the playoffs is going to have their hands full as long as we continue to take care of the ball and reduce turnovers.
Well, certainly if you play like you did in the second half tonight, I believe you have a real good shot.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, Coach, it was a pleasure covering the game this evening, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Super. Thank you so much. Appreciate the interview.